Yes, ma. Mo bàbá mi àti ìyá mi. Èrèdú tó wà ṣe ìyá mi ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ẹ kú.
No, the language is English. I'm afraid nobody can understand you when they see the clip.
I'm highly honored. Greetings to the whole house. All protocol duly observed. I bring solidarity greetings from the Yoruba Council of Youth Worldwide. With greatest respect to the majesties in the house, elders and fathers and mothers. We, the youth of Yoruba land, are indeed highly honored and grateful for this rare privilege opportunity to share our thoughts. To us, there is much yet to be done in Yoruba land. The key issue which we've been working on our part, and we thank His Majesty Kabisi Obelerimo has mentioned the need for us to rekindle the Omoluabi spirit. The youth of today lack that credibility to earn confidence of the elders. Even at home, at various area of discourse, they look less to the present generation of youth. It's not because we don't have what it takes to lean on the elders' views, but because there is no baton of hope from the elders and the younger generation. The baton that connect us, and that is the unity baton, Ishokan, which is so lacking among the Yoruba people. Very key for me to drive this in order for us to attain that democratic interest of the homogeneous interest of the Yoruba people, looking inwardly to the way we are wired. We are not wired along the Western world views. We are wired in a more traditional way of life. And that way of life is to go back to the basis of our obas. If we must achieve restructuring, restructuring must be keen on the stable of our obas. We must go to that traditional method of our governance structure. What is key? The economic state of our land is embittered with corruption. The political space is also more divided. The way the Yoruba political space is divided, we cannot compare to the North. They are more far above us, and we cannot continue to fold our hands akimbo and watch. As a youth, we are doing everything within our means to change the paradigm, to begin to look at what are the critical areas of our interest. We are yearning for restructuring. Have we drafted a bill that will bring on board the need for us to have a plebiscite and referendum commission in Nigeria? We cannot achieve restructuring if the People's Constitution, which is the Nigerian Constitution, which is the huge error. There is a huge lacuna in terms of the constitution that we are presently using, which is a military infested constitution. If that is the only issue that was brought on board during this last NSAS struggle, without the arrays of every other thing and the way the struggle was eventually crippled by lack of coherence, by lack of leadership prowess from those that are clamoring, we are part of it, but it got to a time we lost touch with what is the real issue, what is the meat of the argument. So because there was no coherence, these are issues that are affecting us. In moving forward, we are working to look through that if we can bring on board, we need tacticians, we need intellectuals. Beyond this meeting, there must be a resolution of think tank who will come up with a draft document. That draft document must be interpreted in both English and Yorubas so that in all fairness, even we that are Yorubas, we don't even understand the content of every sections of the 1999 Constitution. A lot of things are hidden in chapter 2 of that Constitution that is non-justiciable. Why must we have Sharia law in the national Constitution? These are critical area of thought. Why must our currency also have another language of another nation that we do not even consent to? These are critical issues. Our National Assembly, do we really need bicameral legislation? These are critical issues. Our regional system of government that Awolowo gave us, are we still in line on freedom of education, social justice right? These are critical areas. We don't have a semblance of our thought being heard. So as a generation which I lead, we are keen to looking at a new horizon, and that is our own appeal, that we are appealing to the whole house. On behalf of all youths of Yoruba land, our women and everybody, we still believe that there is hope in Yoruba land. We must go back to the basics. There is a need for our Obas to shelve this divisive mode that have divided with their followers along different background and thoughts. There is a need for our Obas to also go traditionally. No, it seems the issue of our traditional system, the Ifa theology, is no longer in vogue in most of our palaces. An Oba must not go out without the Unifa to come in the morning and say, oh, Baba, is today okay or today is not okay? Why would we, these are areas that is our strength in Yoruba land. This is our culture. This is what makes us who we are. We might be Muslim, Christian, or atheist, or whatever, but our tradition is not religion. They should not mistake our tradition as religion. We don't have Yoruba practice as a religion. This is our race identity. We must go back to that core value of Omoluabi. We must reign what will bring us back to share knowledge. We must learn, our youth must learn to shave their shoulders of this civilization thought that we can no longer be in the past. What is in the past? What is in the past is the best. We must reinvoke the past to the present. Those things that made us who we are in those days, in those years, that make us the pride of a nation. We must reinvest it in the present generation. Our language must be taught far beyond the fact that this platform must be properly communicated in order for the whole world to know what we are saying. Needless to say, our language is also key because some other salient issues cannot be discussed in English language. There are some key areas, especially security. As far as I've been in Abuja for a couple of weeks now, we've been able to present what is called Police and Youth Relations Committee, but they are not listening to us. We present a bill on National Development Committee, Commission bill, because nobody is ready to help us in Yoruba land. We also present a bill on National Youth Right Bill, a bill on Education Right Bill that will bring 25% of the budgetary allocation to the education sector. These are key demands. We cannot continue to live in the past. If we need a sovereign state, that sovereign state begins with us here in Yoruba land. The Igbos have their hatred for us. The Hausa are suspicious of our entities. Nobody trusts us because at home, we lack that trust policy at home. If we can rebuild our trust policy, our communal value, the societal upgrading, our governors must be called to order. They must lean on that Awaism credos. These are demands that the present and future generation will come to appreciate. And we appreciate Mama Tuashi for giving us this voice, for raising our hope, hopeless island called Nigeria. And the little pride that makes us Omoluabi, and with the wisdom God gives to us, and with this platform, we are ready to give all the necessary support in whatever area that will make us ventilate and carry out whatever that is passed as resolution here. We'll go further to ensure that we carry it on to our own generation and the generation that comes after us. Thank you very much, Ma, for this singular and privileged opportunity to be on this platform. I'm highly honored to join our platform, to be on the same table with elders and obas of Yoruba land. It's with greatest respect on behalf of all youths of Yoruba land that we appreciate this opportunity, ma. Thank you very much, and God bless, ma.
Thank you very much, Are Barrister Oladotun Hassan. If you've just joined me, I want to apologize. This program is a historic program. You know, I find it difficult to understand when Yorubas believe every program must be in Yoruba language. And yet they are talking about there are more than 50 million Yoruba all over the world. Let me also point out the recent 1st of October event that a number of Yoruba youths joined. And most of them, they don't speak Yoruba. They don't understand Yoruba. So, major conflicts that we've got. And so, much as I would love to see this program in Yoruba, Are Hassan, a lot of what you've said in English, I don't believe Yorubas would understand it if you were to have shared the information in Yoruba. Or what? Besides, we have people from the Caribbean, our Yoruba kids and kin, who wants to know what is going on in Yoruba land. Many saw this answer issue, wondering what's all about. Just big explosion. We've got those who are in England who are also our kids and kin, albeit known as Caribbeans. They want to know, they want to connect, they want to be Yoruba. We have those in Brazil. They cannot wait to be Yoruba. And if our problems are going to continue to be discussed all the time in Yoruba, and yet we are going to be writing petition to UK Parliament in English. And when it's time to explain the decision of the UK Parliament, because they discussed it in Yoruba, people run around claiming UK has imposed sanctions when nothing like that did take place. On that note, I want to continue by saying we got a long way to go finding effective ways to manage one major conflict. And that conflict is there's a generation that's passionate about Yoruba speaking. They want to use it every day to make major decisions. I'm afraid there are also many, many Yorubas who want to be part of what is happening to us. And if they don't understand what is happening to us, I can't see how we can be calling on them to support us. And surely when they look at video clips in Yoruba, they will struggle to find an understanding of what it's all about. I wonder if Farouk Olaitan Shita has joined us. He's another young man. Farouk, are you with us? Farouk Shita. Farouk Olaitan Shita. He's not here. Meanwhile, permit me to invite Wale Adedayo, if he's back with us at this junction. I'm not sure if he's back with us. Wale Adedayo, are you with us now? No response. Let me go straight on to somebody from United States of America. That is Omoba Oladokun. Over to you, Omoba Oladokun. May I invite you to share your thoughts with us? For 10 minutes, you are one of our commentators for this evening. A warm welcome to you. Are you with us? He was here with us a little while ago. Shango Bukumi, are you with us?
I'm still here. I'm here.
Okay, over
Hello.
to you. Yes, we can hear you now.
Good
Thank
afternoon,
you.
good afternoon, good morning, good evening. And my name is Toyin Shangubukumi Oladokun, calling from United States of America. And I greet all of you in the name of Olodumare. May we achieve the aim of the Yoruba nation in no time. And we thank the organizer, Irelu, the power that Olodumare endow you continue to be growing and be shining all the time. Now, my advice for all of us is to first of all bring out our Omoluabi wherever we are. Whether you want to reconstruct Nigeria or have a sovereign Yoruba nation, our Omoluabi has to be come into the, the foreground before you can do anything tangible, anything meaningful. Our Omoluabi first. Our character should be exhibited all the time. I'm going to say this in Yoruba and I'm going to interpret it. Ìfanita abaji ọgbọ́n ká máa kọ́ra wa ká má fi kùtùkùtù òwúrọ̀ pilẹ̀ wèrè. Ifa says when we wake up in the morning, we must endeavor to teach each other wisdom and not to be planning wickedness or acting crazy every day we wake up. We must learn to teach each other wisdom. Now, somebody said that we have Yoruba all over the world, and Yorubas are the most intelligent people in the world. It's true, and I can attest to that. But we have to prove that. We have to prove that to the world. We have to set up some kind of think tank, and let's work out. First of all, how do we get ourselves out of poverty in the land? Can you imagine that the children of those people that invented the Lubo, people that invented Gari, people that invented the Bukwa, are now importing food from all over the world? That's a shame on all of us. And we say we are intelligent. When we have intelligence and we can't prove that kind of intelligence, that means nothing to anyone. So I will encourage us anywhere we are to look for each other and find some kind of think tank, and let's sit down and find a way to bring ourselves out of poverty first. That's number one thing that is messing up the old land, the Yoruba kingdom. Let's find a way out of poverty. Once we find a way out of poverty, there will be no way one of us will be going to Abuja and be looking for auction or be looking for money. There's no way one of our friends will be going to Abuja and be looking for money. And people know, majority of Nigerians, the Fulanis, the Hausas, the Igbo, they know Yoruba very well that most of us will love money so much. Once they give us, one of us some money, they will do anything. We even sell the whole community. So we should find a way to get rid of poverty in the land. And once we can do that, I think we are on the way to prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for your contribution. I think at this junction, it's very important to invite my special guest of honor, Papa Ayo Adebanjo, who has been an Afenifere chieftain for 72 years, to address us for this evening. Welcome to you, Papa.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough, Irelu, for this platform, because it's an educative platform, educative, informative, and also historical. I appreciate Professor Salako and the keynote speaker, who is also a historian, for the historical background very much. They are up to it, particularly the emphasis made by Salako that the question of self-determination does not exclude secession. They just say, when you talk of secession or self-determination, the ability to determine what you want. And if secession is the next thing you believe you want, you will be able to do it. They have proved that constitutionally. What I'm going to do within this period is to somehow sort of summarize all the various views, which I believe many are due to lack of sufficient information and knowledge. The historical background given by the professor and all that is quite all right. But the problem we are having now, whether we have been fighting ourselves through the Kiriji War or not, Shifaulo has solved that. That has been solved when the Egbemo Odudua was founded in 1948 to unite all the Yorubas. And that was the predecessor to the founding of the action group known as Afenifere. The founding of the Egbemo Odudua is all what we are trying to do now, that all the Yorubas, irrespective of your political thinking, to come together. And what is the aim and objective of Egbemo Odudua? What do you want the Yorubas? This is what Shifaulo and others thought of, that you can't achieve all these things, all that colonialism, without having a political party to forge it out. That is the consequence of founding the action group known as Afenifere. Now the question of whether we have federalism or not came in the process of fighting for independence. And although there were divergent views as to what type of system we should have, should it be military, federalism, and all that, came in before. And as Professor Sadako said, Paulo saw to it before. And it showed them that when in this type of heterogeneous society, differences in religion, language, and culture, the only thing that can keep together is a system known as federalism. There again, I want to explain to those who are saying restructuring is not a political philosophy. It is the system we are emphasizing to go back to federalism where we started, where the military said we wanted to go. That was when restructuring came into political lexicon of Nigeria. Before then, the Sovereign National Conference, and I tried to tell you in a nutshell how we got there. Now, the question of where should we go was forcefully fought before independence, when there was crisis in the Federal House of Representatives, and the action moved the motion for self-government by Chief Enahoro, asking for self-government for Nigeria in 1966. And the Northerners said no. Then there was crisis. After leaving legislature that day, because when people are talking of all the regions of this country have been talking of separation. What keeps Nigeria together today is the Yoruba land, led by Shifaulo. Be it the Hausa Fulani, be it the Igbos, be it the Ijos, they have watched one time or the other sought for separation, secession from the country. We are the only one, in spite of oppression, in spite of anything, we have never asked for separation. We have always asked to see the beauty in the economy of scale of Nigeria coming together under a known constitutional democracy. Coming together under an agreed terms, coming together, taking care of whatever everybody has. And that was what happened when the crisis came in 1953, and Lord Chandos invited the leaders of the country to the London Constitutional Conference for discussion on what's the cause of this problem. When they got there, all those conflicting areas, one led by Dr. Azikwe was a unitarist, another led by Shifaulo, who's a federalist, were resolved. And she will not refer them to the way you are having this problem. I have warned you, colonialist people, that you cannot have a federation where one unit of federation is bigger than the rest. That was the time when we had northern, eastern, and western region, and the whole of northern region is bigger than the east and the west put together. That was when Zimbabwe was saying there must be creation of more states to create a balanced federation. So all the background was there, but all that now were taken to London Constitutional Conference. They agreed on federalism. There again, all these minorities that were having autonomy today, both Azikwe and Saudana said there were no minorities in Nigeria. And I want Professor Salako and the other students to go and I can't go into the details here. It was when they said that, and now I've been saying that we are not just Yoruba and in Nigeria, there are more. And that all these minorities must be given position in order to be a fair federation. So when he invited leaders of the Popular Party in Nigeria in 1953, it was only Chief Aulo that included the minorities in his own delegation from Yoruba land. That was when he brought in the bricks from the from south to south. He brought the Maito, another from another region, and put them in his own delegation. So when they got to that conference, people should know this because I've been repeating to them, they don't know why. And now, Azikwe doesn't want the East to be broken. He said there are no minorities. Saudana said he doesn't want the North to be there are no minorities. The minorities in the East and the North that Aulo included his own delegation, where is the breeze come from? Where does the South Maito and others from the North, where they come from? I'm being interrupted. I don't like this interruption at all. Because you can't meet this man because this is an important situation. I want to get it clear. When that was cleared, that these minorities do exist, that was what led to linking the Willing Commission of Inquiry. And that was the time the colonial office said, well, the Yoruba, let's just say they want self-government. These now say they want self-government. But you don't say they don't want and all that. Let's really go and find out whether this minority do exist. And let those who want self-government have it at the time they want it. And the North will say they don't want in 1966. You have their own in 59. It was when they had their own independence in 59 and self-government in 59, Nigeria had its own 1960. Now I'm tracing this question because people are thinking that the problem we are having now is a new one. It has been solved. That's why I'm giving you the background. Now, it was at that constitutional conference that the federalism was established. On return from 1954, the question, the Western region, Eastern and region, their constitution were written separately. Under Mountfassi Constitution, under which they went to England, there was no premiership. It was unitary in form. And it was, I was emphasized that time that, well, this cheating is inclusive. Derivation there again, which people are now talking of resource control now, he mentioned it, that this is all the ingredients of federalism that must be separated. That was agreed upon. So they now came back with the position of premiership being established in the country. If you look back to the Mafansi Constitution before they went, there was no premiership, even under Mafansi Constitution. It was when the federalism was agreed upon that premiership was established in each region, and each region was autonomous. There again, the question the people are now saying they want self-determination can be. The question of those who are asking for self-determination now is out of frustration because the North now want to cheat. And why? After they have agreed on federalism before independence, local government, police, agriculture, education were all regional subjects. And these regional and coordinate with the federal government. They were not subjected at all. And that is why all the developments Law made in the Western region in those days, he did it without going to the federal government by Balewa to borrow a kobo. Because the revenue, how they were already settled constitutionally, and was in a position to organize his own, to generate more revenue for his own progress. Under that one, under this federalism, there is what is called regional autonomy. Autonomy in the sense that be it education, agriculture, local government, all the things that pertain to the people were based in the region with the federating unit where there could be no conflict. All this we agreed upon before independence. And that was very happy. And we carried on. Even when oil was discovered, it was still 50% to the oil producing area and the rest to the federal government. And we are moving on. Because I'm trying to explain it to those who say, no, we must separate. If you are going to separate and do that, it will be the last resort. As I told Kanu and others, I said, well, you don't have to secede from Nigeria. We have been forced together against our weakness. There's an advantage in living together, but not in living together by one section oppressing the other. That is the problem. And I said, if they agreed on the independent, that is why we often refer to independent constitution. And that's why we say those who don't understand the structuring is not a new thing. It is what our founding fathers agreed to. And as one of the contributors mentioned in the other federalism, the federating units and central government, they are coordinate. The federating unit is not supplementing the federal government's coordinate. It's independent. And it is because of that position that gave the Western region power to have the foreign embassy in London at that time. Others who don't understand what federalism meant ridiculed Sifaulo, but later on they followed. And it was Sifaulo, first of all, established foreign embassy in London, 15A, Kensington Palace Garden. I have the privilege of being married at that place. And the first embassy man was Okorodudu from the Midwest at that time. I'm mentioning this to show what we enjoy as a federal of the constitutional federalism with regional autonomy. There is nothing you cannot get if you want to secede under a federal constitution, strictly federal. Not the question of the Nigerian factor. There is no Nigerian factor under federalism. Federalism is federalism. And we often refer to the fact that if you say you are following federalism, you are following America. All the influence that there is there. There is no Inspector General of Police in America. That comes with the question of security again. Because all that's embedded in fighting for structuring, going back, structuring is not the philosophy, going back to federalism is because all the things that is causing conflict now is already under that problem. And why people like me are very passionate about saying the structure back to federalism, and what the emphasis of our professors are saying, many people don't know what is contained in the structure Nigeria under federalism. All these things were going on fine until the military came in 1966. It is there now who changed the constitution. One, they now create local government on their own. Besides, local government were all under the federative states. And because under the states, they now create local government at the pleasure of every general in his village. They created local government in the north against the south, and then the number of local government will be the basis under which they will be distributing revenue. For instance, at that time, Lagos and Kano had the same population, but they created another state out of Kano called Jigawa, and they created about 4 local governments in Kano, about 20 or so more, or 30 in Jigawa, and Lagos still remain 20. And they now say that this number of local governments will be the basis of distributing revenue. These are the conflicts under this constitution. When those of us are saying, no, if you want us to stay together, you must go back to where you met us. I'm not going over this because I know there's not much time. But the North, I want to emphasize, it is they who will break Nigeria. It is Buhari who will break Nigeria if he does not agree to the constitution of our founding fathers, which created peace among everybody. Freedom of religion, freedom of our state is never a Muslim or Christian, it's a secular state. It was under that constitution you can have your this Muslim law, what do you call it now?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Sharia.
Sharia, thank you. Under that law. And then we created a customary court here. Just to have peace. If you say you want to be killing yourself, that's your home, but not here. But we see the other federal institution. All that was clear. And that was why, by the time Allah was making the development, the whole Western region, he created the Ahmadu Bello Obafemi Awolowo University, Ahmadu Bello created Ahmadu Bello Society. He created Liberty Stadium, Ahmadu Bello created all competitive. Okpara on the other side, because everybody has an autonomy. But for the question of this military, who caused this constitutional confusion? And that is why I want our people to concentrate. Precautionary is just important for anybody who believes that you have to say. I agree with Professor Lako. We don't get anything by saying we want to secede or something. But if we keep to the constitution of our founding fathers, everybody being autonomous as a purely federal institution, there'll be peace. But because what the North thought they lost by the constitutional provision of the independence, they brought it back by the autocrat, by the constitution they made. I must make emphasis that the constitution the military made in 1996 was made by the military power at that time. They made it, and all the things that were they considered to be against them under the constitution, they changed it in their favor, and they started the law. And that is why, again, I must emphasize, by the time they came into office, they ruled us for so long, they now say they are going out having power to us, back to civilians. And the action group and another said, well, okay, if you are going back to barracks, send us back to the constitution under which you are. That was what led to the sermon for sovereign national conference at that time. That was what we are shouting for. That was what the structure is now replaced. Why? We said we are not going to, when Abacha said we will go back to civilian regime. We are not going to end this until we change this constitution. If you are going to go back to civilian government, you must go back under an agreed terms, not under a constitution imposed on us. Then we are shouting sovereign national conference. And when Obasanjo came into office, and we continue to clamor for it, and he said he's going to keep to the constitution, there can be no true sovereignty. And that was the time we started Nigerian constitution, unity is not negotiable. I said, no, that is borderline. There's nothing more negotiable than the unity of this country. And that the sovereignty we are talking of, because somebody was saying, if you go to the assembly, is that barren nonsense? The assembly, they say there are many constitutions now. It's a creation of this fraudulent constitution. That's our side. This assembly is a creation of the fraudulent constitution we are opposed to. How can you say you want to change something to a system we don't agree to? These are all the problems involved. Now, I think I'm just trying to call the. I now want to come back to the question of Yoruba unity. There is no disunity in Yoruba land. You'll be surprised to hear that from me. When the primate of Nigeria came to me about some weeks ago, the former primate, Archbishop Akinola, talking to me about the division in Yoruba land. And I told him, there's no division. It is ambition. It is ambition that is troubling Yoruba land. And the ambition is embedded in the statement, Alfagbafenikan, the refusal to accept the leadership of one, make confusion in the whole world. Look at all these organizations that attend there, including all the youth element that have been talking. Why are they not one? I don't want to mention one of them knows that I was trying to settle dispute between the two of them, of the organization. You use organization there, use organization there. You are clamoring for the same thing. Why are you not one? And the question you also ask, all these various organizations, Yoruba Council of Elders, Yoruba this, number one, number two. What are they saying that is different from what Afenifere is saying? If not for what they want to be the leader. What have they said or that they done that is different from what we are? And many of them, you must observe, they break away from Afenifere. As I tell you, Afenifere on Ojayegu, that's a Yoruba leader, that's Papa Fashionati. All these people broke away and they don't want to accept his leadership. The leadership came from Aolo, Papa Ajasi, from Papa Ajasi to Adesoya, from Adesoya to Fashionati. All these people are talking now, I don't want to mention any name. So you go and examine them. Where are they from? Until the latest one of Yoruba World Congress, where are they from? All because you want to be leader. So my appeal to you, if anybody wants to do anything in this platform, I appeal to these fragments to go back to the source. Somebody was saying, also, I don't remember the speaker now, was so sympathetic. He said they are subdued Afenifere. No, they can't subdue Afenifere because what Afenifere stands for is the only thing that can save Nigeria. That's why we are still subsisting. It is that they have subdued them because they have not won election. What election have they won? Corrupt election, fraudulent election. But we maintain our stand. Because on that federalism, on truth, we stand. And as I told somebody today was talking to me, truth comes to us, shall rise again. Afenifere can never be crushed. Because it's what we stand for. All right. You are now talking of restructuring. You are talking of the derivation. You are talking. We started this. Everybody now coming back to federalism. We started it. We are the only organization that have been most consistent. Irrespective of it. Somebody referred to the meeting at Adama Sigba. I organize it. I call everybody, irrespective of your political party, and we all agreed. Let nobody say there is no constitution for Yoruba land. We have done it. There is a Yoruba position, and we presented it at 2014 National Conference. Is there? And all the Yoruba that were good to the north unfairly, we said that if you want them to be in the north, let them go on the referendum. All that is there. So the problem is, let people be agreed on a leadership they know, because there's no reason why for one of them breaking away, if not for because they want to be leader. No, we cannot not be leaders. And the question you ask them, those of them that say, oh, this or that, what is the difference between them and the affair meeting? The gentleman who was talking of affair that is of you, who is interrupting me, please?
Papa?
Let me conclude, my friend, please.
Thank you, sir.
Let me conclude.
Yes, sir.
The conclusion is not more than the fact that the Yoruba unity you want is to appeal to those fragments to go back to the mainstream. Except they can tell you what are they saying that is different for what, for where they broke off is saying, or what have they done or that they want to do. If that is not so, Yoruba, that's what they are saying. If you say you want freedom for Yoruba land, you want federation, you are not saying anything different. Why don't we come? The only people who don't want federation is the North, who don't believe that, one of them said of this that they want to bring the unity in the North. The unity that the North, the spokesmen of them, including Ango Abdullahi, God, I'm mentioned. God, we know all these things. The unity they want is the unity of us and the rider, where they be the rider and the rest of the country be the host. And that is what others are refuting and rejecting. Today they say they don't marry restructuring, and they say no, they don't want restructuring, it must be uncertain something. If they want Nigeria to be one, and we said this is the only one under the restructuring or federalism is the only way, let them give us their own alternative. The alternative is this constitution we're complaining about. That is what you look at. So our problem is clear to any honest and sincere person. And I've always been challenged the Buhari that, well, if you are sincere about Nigeria keeping together, look at the question of Fulani ass men. Up to today, they are oppressing Fulani in office. Nobody has been arrested. All the question of security are talking about is done because police is centrally controlled. There was an election in Kogi. They killed a woman there after the election under centralized security. And all the security people in the country today are from a section of the country. In many cases from the village of Buhari. These are their problems. So don't let anybody say, well, let our professors and all that. And concentrate on the question of no, don't confuse us. We want to be one. And I like to say this to Taiwo and others. I am with them, but we are not going to do determination until Lord refuse. Not Yoruba say you could be to Joko. The fact that we want is not that we don't know what we can be. And as I said, what we can be, we have demonstrated when Aula was there. And our Wilson at that time said, if Aula could rule any part of the Europe, it's on record. But his performance in the whole Western region, we know all that.
Okay.
But we want the question of sovereignty going back will be the last resort if the North does not agree to an agreeable constitution under federalism.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much, sir. To those of you who have joined us from other parts of Yoruba nation, particularly in the Caribbean, Brazil, and so on and so forth. I think the case has been set. Thank you for joining us. The case has been set, and you are very clear, I'm sure, what the issues are. Let me do a quick summary. You know, I love listening to Yorubas present themselves, because often they present themselves from historical perspective, and they show hundreds of examples of what has happened. I appreciate that, from Kriji War to the Macpherson Constitution and so on and so forth. Let me just cut it here. For those of you who have joined us, before I go to the last segment, which many will be pleased to know will be in Yoruba. So let me say the key issue here seems to be that Yorubas within the geographical area called Nigeria are dissatisfied. They are totally dissatisfied.
Under the present constitution.
Thank you very much, sir.
Under the present constitution.
Thank you. Now, you heard it loud and clear. Under the very important item called the Constitution. And that Constitution dates back to 1999. After the military era and the democratic government was returned, they've had problems since then, and they haven't been able to resolve it. From my experience, I'll ask, how come they've held elections? More than one election since then. We've got to a situation now where, quite clearly, Yoruba people want to reconstitute themselves to Yoruba nation. And they are very clear this is to be done in or outside of Nigeria. That is the case. Before I go into full-blown Yoruba, those of you who don't speak or understand Yoruba, the essence of today is to look at the current situation of Yoruba people of Nigeria. And you may have heard lots and lots of dissatisfaction. Lots of dissatisfaction expressed, a number of options given, and we've got to a situation where you may have heard from Papa Adebanjo, my guest of honor today. Incidentally, in his 90s, he's been involved in the most, shall I say, the longest serving organization for Yoruba people, and it's 72 years old. 72 years organization called Afenifere. Lots of issues about Afenifere. Lots and lots of issues about Afenifere. And you may have heard it's split into 3 or 4 or 5. And the current leadership of Afenifere, we've been told that is where the leadership of Yoruba is. And the leader of the Yoruba is called Papa Fashionati. That's clear. Papa Adebanjo is one of the chieftains. That's where we are at. So I hope that's clear. 3 points before you disconnect from English, because I'm going to go into Yoruba now. 1, nothing is working for Yoruba people. Why isn't it working? We have been told it's constitutional. What are those issues? Horrendous number of them. They are being pursued by Fulanis. Today they are being raped. Today they are being shot. The cows are running rampage all over. The herdsmen are carrying AK-47. I'm disgusted that since these herdsmen, they've been carrying AK-47. The level of intelligence of Yoruba. Nobody has done similar to ENSA to get the AK-47 removed from them. No ENSA. Yorubas didn't hit the road. They didn't demonstrate. Nothing. Till today. They never did. AK-47 carried by herdsmen. When we were going up, and I'm sure in many parts of the world, do the herdsmen in your country, do they carry guns? Nothing has been done. Nothing. We spend so much time on social media just talking and talking and talking and talking. So let me ask one or two of the English-speaking Yorubas to come in. I've got Shago Fumilayo from Trinidad. May I invite you to share your thoughts before I say thank you and goodbye to you and we go to Yoruba. Mama Shago Fumilayo, are you there? I think somehow she's either muted, I can't see her. Deirdre, is Deirdre from Trinidad? No, sorry, Tobago. Trinidad, Tobago, Deirdre, are you still with us? Do you want to share your thoughts? Let me bring in Mauritania for a moment. Olori Odo of Mauritania, are you there? French-speaking Yoruba nation, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, you are French-speaking country, so you want to speak Yoruba, you want to speak English, which one?
I prefer to speak Yoruba, ma'am.
Oh yeah, ní ṣókí ni mo fẹ́ gbọ́.
Yes, ma'am. Mo kí àwọn bàbá màmá lórí ètò yìí o. Ẹ má bínú fún fẹ́ mi díẹ̀ mà. Mo really appreciate inú mi bẹ́ẹ̀ dùn pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tí mo kọ́ tí mo tó kọ́ mọ́ ètò Ọlọ́run jogún fún mi ní alẹ́ yìí nítorí wípé kí ni inú mi dùn láti gbọ́ oríṣiríṣi àwọn ohun tó jẹ́ wípé àwa gan ò mọ̀. Ọ̀dọ́ ni wá, ọmọdé ni wá gbọ́ nínú ìtàn mi. Ṣùgbọ́n ìta tún wá gbọ́ ní alẹ́ yìí, inú mi dùn ọkàn mi bẹ́ẹ̀. Torí pé kí ni ìran Yorùbá ni wá, a dẹ̀ ń wá lọ síwájú fún Yorùbá ni. Ohun tí mo ní láti sọ ò pọ̀ ju wípé ohun tá a fẹ́, a mọ̀ wípé àwọn tá a bá tò pọ̀ wọn ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìran Yorùbá. Àmọ́ àwa gangan la nígbà nítorí pé kí ni ọmọ bíbí ire ni wá, òun ni ìran Yorùbá. Ọmọ tá a bí tá a kọ́ ni. A lè ti torí bóyá wípé ojú di ojú kejì ká wá máa mú àṣà láṣà àbí ká máa mú sí títí ìtamọ́ tiwa. Ohun tí mo ní láti sọ ni pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ọ̀nà tẹ́yin bàbá wa lè gbà tẹ́ fi lè jẹ́ wípé kí gbogbo àwọn tó tún bọ̀ lẹ́yìn títí wa tá a máa ní future tó dáa ní kẹ́ ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kẹ́ bá wa sọ náà nítorí pé kí ni tí Yorùbá ń go through kò kí ń ṣe kékeré mà. Ọ̀nà àti ọ̀nà ń tọrọ ọ̀nà tó máa rọ̀ wá lọ́rùn tó máa ran ìran Yorùbá lọ́rùn ètò la béèrè fún.
Thank you. Ẹ ṣeun. Now, this junction, I'm going to go straight into the language that probably will facilitate answer to the questions that I have. Papa, my question to you, sir. Afẹ́nifẹ́re wọ́n ní bí awo ní tẹ́nìkan kan ò lè join ní ẹ̀ àìmọye èèyàn wọ́n fẹ́ di mẹ́mbà wọ́n láwọn rojú tu Afẹ́nifẹ́re wọ́n dẹ̀nà Afẹ́nifẹ́re tẹ̀ já síwájú ẹ̀sà wọ́n ní òun ló jẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ tó ṣe pàtàkì jù ẹnikẹ́ni wọn rí bí tẹ́ ẹ pé mítìnì rí tí gbogbo wa wá bẹ́ẹ̀ bá jẹ́ pé Afẹ́nifẹ́re òun ló lórí ẹ pé mítìnì kí gbogbo wa wá bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin ẹ̀kan mò ń bọ̀ ọmọ ṣì ń bọ̀ dáàdì. Ìkejì gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ kan wọ́n máa kọ̀wé wá àwọn fẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ ẹgbẹ́ Afẹ́nifẹ́re Erelu ṣe mo ní constitution wọn lọ́wọ́ níbo náà ti ń ṣèpàdé èèlò ní membership àrójútu ẹ̀ wọ́n tún máa bí mí wọ́n ní àwọn bàbá iṣẹ́ náà lọ ń gbowó l'Ábújá owó náà lọ ń gba àwọn bàbá wọn yẹn àfikún máa lọ gbowó ẹjẹ kọ́ fi ìbéèrè mẹ́ta yẹn kí kọ́kọ́ fi ilẹ̀ ṣé tòótọ́ làwọn bàbá Afẹ́nifẹ́re lọ ń gbowó l'Ábújá nítorí náà ní àṣerójú tú ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Over to you, Papa.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, mo ní ìbéèrè kan fún bàbá.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Bàbá, mo ń ka biography of Awólọ́wọ̀. Olówó àlọ́wọ́ mi. Nǹkan tó kọ síbẹ̀ nípa federation yìí. Nǹkan tó kọ nìyí. The division into free regions was arbitrary and made only for administrative convenience. The proposed constitution maintains the present division. Then, the present free regions were constituted without regard to ethnological factors. The Yoruba of Ilorin, Ofa and Kaba are included with their houses in the northern region. Igbos who properly belong to the eastern zone are grouped with the Yorubas in the west. There is no justification whatsoever for this arbitrary grouping. Certainly, these minority groups are at a considerable disadvantage when they are forced to be in the midst of other peoples who differ from them in language, culture, and historical background. Submission meaning tí Awólọ́wọ̀ bá wà láyé, in the light of gbogbo experience that he ní since 1960, èmi rò pé wọn ò ní sọ pé ká padà sí nǹkan tó ti sọ pé ó wà arbitrary. Èmi rò pé nǹkan tó máa insist lórí ni a federation of ethnic groups, pé Yorùbá nation la jẹ́ federating unit, kò ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn states yìí. Submission mi nìyẹn.
Ẹ ṣe bàbá kí ẹ tó dáhùn ìbéèrè ti alàgbà Délé Ògún. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ṣe rí bàbá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà.
Tó bá pọ̀ jù mí nílé ìdáhùn in details. I'm not the professor.
Mo fẹ́ sọ bàbá di professor lẹ́ni o. Ẹ tẹ̀síwájú sà.
Mi ò kọ́ now. He made very vital question. Tó bá kíyèsí ìgbà tí mo sọ̀rọ̀, àwọn minority yẹn mo sọ̀rọ̀ wọn pé wọ́n lọ group ọmọ north. This is time mo try láti kó many things jọ. Kò sí nǹkan tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó yàtọ̀ sí àdúró fún. Ọ̀rọ̀ pé region yẹn mo rẹ́ ọ̀nà mẹ́ta ni pé it's an awkward federation. Ìyẹn ló ní ìdúrà sí gbàgbà sọ pé there must be creation of more states for the minorities. Ìyẹn la bá lọ sí London Constitutional Conference so that the federation can be balanced. So it's not a contradiction at all. Kì í ṣe nǹkan tó sọ nípa ẹ̀ ni pé tí a bá máa ṣe federation ó láti yọ̀nà báyìí. Kò sọ́kọ̀ self-determination. Àwọn dáadé sọ̀rọ̀ federation ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ dáadé sọ̀rọ̀ pé go back to the independent constitution. Ní kẹ́ go back to north, east and west. No. As a matter of fact, ìgbà tí àwọn north out of spite àwọn lọ́wọ́ tó ké midwest ṣe náà rò pé ìgbà tó bá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àní support àwa là á support the House of Assembly pé having done that you two will do it in other states. They thought by the time they create we stop. No, it's a universal something. So it's not, there's no conflict at all. Nǹkan náà sọ nípa self-determination ni pé tó o bá gba the system of federation on the basis yẹn la máa sọ̀rọ̀ secession.